So Joachim, a new team for you this weekend and the first round of the championship we see in Europe.
Yeah, it's the first round in Europe for this season, and we've been to Italy 2 times last year, but that was 2 lakes, so there will be more rough water here than it was in the lakes. So if we hope for some waves and for some winds for Tuesday race.
And your new teammate Gary Ballou, an absolute legend when it comes to water-based motorsport.
Yeah, Gary is a legend. He's been racing the XCat for many years, and back in the US as well. He win races and he knows exactly what to do. So I'm really happy and honored to be with him in his team.
Now, they're champions last year and a great start to your 2014 season.
Yeah, it was a great start. We had 2 races in the UAE, one in Dubai and one in Fujairah. It started in January and we had the second race in Fujairah, which was pretty good, rough. Unfortunately, we don't have our boat that we raced in Fujairah. We shipped it to America to try to participate in America. We have a different boat here, which we prepared before this race, maybe 3 weeks ago. And so we didn't have a chance to test the boat, so we're going to go out today and test it and see how it performs.
Matteo, second last time out in Fujairah, but more importantly, it's your first time racing back in Italy since your win last year.
Yeah, true. It was a nice second place. After we have a problem at the first race in Dubai, we have one clash with another boat, and we was at the end of the race one. We was like 9th place, 8th place, I don't remember. We get this second place in Fujairah. We're back now in Italy, and happy to be in Napoli. And we will try now what's going on. Some rules has changed. Maybe will give us some advantage, and we will check out now when we go testing.
Plenty of local support for you this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not the only Italian, but sure we are in good position, and people know very well Nicolino Shore and our team. Sure we have support here.
Giovanni, it was a late start to the season for you with your first race of the year being in Fujairah in the XCat, but second race on home soil.
Yeah, we are very happy to coming back this year on Fujairah, from Fujairah Racing. We buy the boat from Victory team. In Fujairah we have a nice race. Unfortunately, we have only one set of props, and so we are here only for training. There only for training. Now we have our own set of prop, etc., and we start today to understand the possibility of the boat.
So in terms of your performance as a team this weekend, what are you looking for?
We're looking for a podium, of course, because I think we are a good team. So I have experience in a XCat. Luca also is an experienced driver. So we're looking for stay on the podium. We know already it's very difficult to fight with Fazza, with Matteo Nicolini, and there's a lot of quicker boat and very experienced driver and throttle. So difficult, but we try, sure.
Jay, second in the championship, 2 podiums so far. New team name this weekend.
Yeah, we're really happy about our finishing this year. We're running second in the championship, and yes, we're happy to be representing Dubai and Dubai Tourism, new boat owner, and we're excited to work with them for the whole season. And of course, new colors for the boat, same boat, number 7, and we're happy to be competing this year again.
Well, for you, you're arguably one of the most experienced drivers in world powerboating at this stage, but it's your first time racing in Naples.
It is my first time in Naples. I have raced in Italy before, but it's the first time in Naples, and we're going to be racing out in the sea, so we expect conditions to change quite a bit.
In terms of the field, of course, with those sea conditions changing, it's probably going to bunch the field up throughout the course of the race.
Yeah, you're going to get some unexpected wakes because they're not going to stop the ferry traffic, so what's going to look like really clean water, when you're really going fast, you're going to find some swells unexpectedly, so this is going to be the defining factor of the race, I think.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Naples for the third round of the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series. The first time that we've seen the XCats in the Mediterranean, and it has been a stunning weekend so far. The weather here in Naples could not be better. Mark Werrell talking to you, and we'll be joined by Sid Ben Salah, who is the Secretary General for the WPPA and the UIM XCat World Series Chief Officer. We've had a couple of stunning days so far. The conditions are perfect. The crowd have turned out in their thousands. And to boot, we've also got a special guest of honour this weekend, Diego Maradona. Sid, a great introduction to XCat racing in the Mediterranean.
Absolutely, from the city, from the crowd, the spectators, the entire community of Napoli. The past 3 days they've been living with us. The round 3 of the UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series here in Italy. It's been absolutely awesome. All the pilots, I'm sure that they will, the minute they leave Napoli, they will look forward to come back again next year, and including as well the community, because we gave them a gift not only to host the XCat series here in the Mediterranean, in the Gulf of Napoli, but our special gift is to bring them here their beloved Diego Maradona.
Absolutely, yeah, and you would not believe the crowd that was around. Not surprising, Diego Maradona earlier, and I think he's also going to be bringing the checkered flag down on this race as well, the Naples Grand Prix.
Absolutely, like he did in Dubai during the round 1 of the 2014 World Series in January. So he's back again with us here in Napoli, in his city, as he say, and he will basically flag the winners or the first boat that will cross the finishing line today.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that later on. In the meantime, you can see the boats are now heading out. You can see the huge crowd that is assembled here in Napoli. And as the boats start to head out onto the water, we can start to look back at what happened in qualifying yesterday and the way that this grid will line up, the field of boats that are heading out onto the water now. Yesterday in qualifying, well, it was the number 22 boat of Cantiere Postiglione that qualified fastest of all. Marco Panesi, but local man, Naples resident Alfredo Amato, who is on the throttles. You can see just how many people are here supporting this fabulous, fabulous event.
Absolutely. Based on the city information, they are expecting around 300,000 spectators all along the corniche of the Gulf of Naples. The weather is awesome. It's basically not too much wind. The sea is flat, maybe a little bit bumpy offshore, but it's a perfect conditions for the race today.
Yep, so the boat's heading out, as we say. It is the Cantiere Postiglione boat that qualified on pole position, and we can have a quick look at the times for the pole position. Say the number 22 boat sat there on pole, and you can see just all the other activity that's going on here in Naples as well, with plenty, not just the racing to keep the crowd entertained. So the number 22 boat sitting there on pole. They're qualifying in a time of 2 minutes 38.1. As we say, Alfredo Amato, local man who will be delighted. He's on the throttles here, whereas it will be Marco Panesi that is steering the boat and piloting the boat. They qualify just 0.8 of a second quicker than reigning champions and 2013 champions, 2012 champions, 2014 championship leaders, number 3 Fazza, who for the first time this season have not qualified on pole position. Aref Al-Zafain and Nadir bin Hendi, with a new boat this weekend, will sit on the outside of the front row of the grid. Their time in qualifying, 2 minutes 38.9. Third on the grid is the number 7 boat of Dubai, Sultan Al Dahiri and Jay Price. And, well, they qualified with a 2 minute 40.35, but midway through the qualifying session, they inverted the boat. They hooked a wave, the back end of the boat raised into the air, the tail end hooked a wave on the left-hand side, over went the boat, and whilst both Sultan Al Dahiri and Jay Price were okay, The boat needed significant amounts of work, and the crew worked right the way through the night to repair the damage to the boat, having to rebuild the engines as well. And in free practice this morning, they did several laps in that boat. The team have done a superb job. It's back on the pace, and at 2 minutes 40.35, despite the issues, means that they will line up in third position in the field. Fourth is T-Bone Station, 2 minutes 41.15, with Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitelli, who qualified in fourth position. Their best time of the session was a 2 minute 41.15. Fifth place was the number 6 boat, the Nicolini Offshore of Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli. They qualified with a 2 minute 41.6, and then it was Marine Investimenti Sud with a 2 minutes 41.75. Yachts Emirates, 2 minutes 42.68, means they line up 7th place, and 8th position is the boat that finished runner-up in the Speedcat runs yesterday, Moad, with a 2 minutes 44.51. But talking to the likes of Jochen Kumlin, who joins that team for this weekend, and the hugely experienced American Gary Ballou, well, they know there was more to come out of that boat. They didn't hook up the lap as they would have wished in qualifying. Gary Ballou said he thought there was probably 2 or 3 seconds to come out of that boat. In 5th in free practice this morning, he managed to gain another 4 seconds, so even better than Gary Ballou suspected. We can see Maradona is there and is our guest this weekend. Keep cutting back to pictures of him, and that, by the look of things, is the new boat for this weekend. Great to see a new team out there. They're learning the boat, they're getting used to it. We just saw the number 46 boat of Lady Spain out there, and they were received very warmly, weren't they, earlier on this week, Sid?
Absolutely. Lorenzo Bacchi and Marco Fabrizi, both 46 Lady Spain. This is their first appearance here ever in our series, and they are basically learning. They don't want to take any kind of a risk, and yesterday, okay, between the pole position and the Speedcat run, they are ranked in the last position, but this is how you start in the series. And the main goal for them today is to have a clean start. 10, Diego Maradona, and he's here. And as I said earlier, it's our gift to the city of Naples.
Yeah, you can see just how much he was mobbed when he arrived here earlier on. Thousands upon thousands, absolute hero locally. And when he arrived, I think he went and had a bit of a kickabout on the beach.
Here we go. He's the superstar.
Yeah, we can see the boats out at sea beginning to build up. Maradona still acknowledging the crowd. He's going to be a busy chap here, isn't he, in Naples? The boats beginning to line up. Maradona, I don't think he's going to get to see a great deal of the race, is he? There's so many people that want his attention over the course of this weekend. You can see just thousands upon thousands. A few moments' time, the green flag is waved, and away they go up towards the start lap. Then it's the start lap plus 13 laps plus the 2 extra laps, and it looks as though as they charge down towards the first corner, it already looks as though the boat that is to the corner in the lead of the race, yeah, it's the number 3 boat of Fazza that has gone through and into the lead of the race, and it looks as though Alfredo Amati with Cantiere Postiglione is there in second place, but absolutely on the coattails and looking to try and go through.
And we see here in the first turn 10 run the second in second position behind 3, and Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitella, they are really
Italy is starting to try and attack number 22, the pole sitter, which is Cantiere Postiglione, and they have gone through by the look of things. The number 10 boat carrying good speed out front, and these two blue boats are squabbling over what is second and third position as they go right the way offshore to the furthest point of the circuit, where they will then turn through the right-hander and start to head back towards us.
We see a close combat between 10 and 22, so the 2 Italian boats. I think here Alfredo Amato need to make sure to finish the first 3 laps on a safe condition, and then they will, as soon as they start consuming fuel, the boat will be lighter, and then they will reach their top speed.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way you're going to win the race on the first lap. You can certainly lose it on the first lap, and it's Fazza that are out front at this stage. You can see the boats riding the water absolutely beautifully. Some of the drivers saying this is a very, very technical course, and also they have to consider the wakes that come off the ferries coming in towards Naples. There goes Fazza in the lead of the race. You can see launching into the air the number 10 boat of T-Bone Station, Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitelli. The number 10 boat, T-Bone Station, is there in in second position, but second, third, fourth and fifth, not a great deal to choose between them all at this stage. The one boat that's dropping back, however, number 7, which is due by, the boat that rolled in qualifying, has lost ground on that first lap.
Boat 7 dropped back, and 6, Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli, they took advantage of that. Now we see from the second, third and fourth position the all Italian boats, and I think maybe because since they capsized yesterday, boat 7, they might maybe experience some issues, but as far as we can see them, they're running properly, and let's see what will happen next.
Yeah, you can see Maradona was certainly enjoying the race there. He's enjoying the support of the crowd as well, but it's Fazza that are out from, then these two boats that are still squabbling over second and third position. The number 10 boat of T-Bone Station, Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpatelli, that are there in second position. They finished outside of the top 10 in the first round. They were 6th in the second round, and the Italians are having a very good run in the early stages here as they head round through the left-hander that brings them back away from the seafront here in Naples, with that blue boat and the white flashes down the side. That is the pole sitter, Alfredo Amato and Marco Pinessi at the wheel of the Cantiere Postiglione number 22 boat that is still going well and is hanging on, isn't it, to that number 10 boat of T-Bone Station ahead.
It's as we said yesterday that and here we go, Diego Maradona, and the show he's putting there in front of thousands and thousands of Napolitan crowd. From our commentary box here, I cannot basically describe how exciting is the scene here with the crowd and cheering and singing as well this famous football song of Diego Maradona. But anyway, boat number 10, let's say half a mile in front of 10.
Yeah, the gap when they can final right-hander on the lap that will bring them back over the start finish themselves and the rest of the field behind. New fastest lap for Fazza there as well as they Cantiere Postiglione before we see the next. Made places early on. Well, they're up to 4th already, Sid, and are not that far away from the boat ahead.
Up, and here we go. We can see that 22 maybe. Let's see if maybe
the case of the early to the lap. The gap between first and second raced in Fagera, and with Diego Maradona looking on, the driver or the pilot and the throttleman Arif Al-Zafain, they didn't qualify on pole position,
which is within the rule, and my guess is they are basically
2.5 litre V6 2-stroke engines, aren't they? So the 4-stroke will I'm sure make a very nice sound. Whether it's as nice as the V6, I've not heard. And are at this stage continually opening up their margin between themselves and the number 10 boat in 4th place. Then it's Marine Investimenti Sud that are there in 5th position. Dubai adrift, 28 seconds adrift at this stage. And on this lap, it looks as though Global Marine is the first boat that we've seen that's taking a long lap. So Global Marine now are taking into the pit by the look of things. Can't see it on the TV screen as yet, but the number 96 boat, which is see it before the graphic disappeared, and on virtual eye you can see the mark in Naples, but also the crowd who, look at him, absolutely ever Peter Shilton forever. Themselves, and that boat there, the ship for this race, Lady Spain, who are just about to come through and conclude their lap. They are not quite as yet a lap down on Fazza. Lady Spain go through, and as they head over the start-finish line in a few moments' time, they are circulating towards the rear, but it's great to see a new boat coming into XCat, Sids. They've performed well this weekend and have slowly...
Fazza, they're running now their first long lap. Lady Spain, yes, they are very pleased and happy to be here during the next round in Stresa.
There is the boat that sat on pole position that's currently running 3rd in this race, which is the number 22 boat of Al Racing, or Cantiere Postiglione, as it is renamed for the course of this weekend. Alfredo Amato will be not short of supporters, will he, over the course of this weekend. We hear that Moed and Rahib are heading on to their long laps this time round, so the number 50 boat of Moed, the number 17 boat of Rahib have also believe that is probably the fastest lap that we've seen all weekend so far. So they're in the lead, they're pulling away. They have opened up a 17, almost 18 second gap now between themselves and the Pone, but they are now being caught by Matteo Nicolini behind at the wheel of the number 6 boat.
Look how beautifully number 10 she's cruising, and absolutely a great balance
these boats. It also GPS locates all of the buoys as well, as Fazza is about. As we've seen XCats expand, we've seen it become a much larger logistical issue as it's expanded from the huge logistical exercise to move the boats from continent to continent, but you're moving them a different way, aren't you, to get them from here up to Strazza for the next round?
Yeah, we do. I mean, the minute we finish today, our logistic guys, they will start around mid-June in Stress.
Heads onto a long lap. That is Sultan Al Dahiri and Jay Price, who are now circulating further down through the order. We've also got Qatar on a long lap, and it also looks as though Moed have already chalked up their 2 long laps, so they've taken them very
performing as it should. For sure they are experiencing some difficulties, and the 22 is really pushing now to close the gap with the boat 10.
Yeah, it's certainly getting ever closer, are those 2 that are squabbling over 2nd and 3rd position. As from the helicopter again, we can look down on just how well these boats are between themselves and the number 10 boat of T-Bone Station. Who wants a D10 shirt? Yeah, I think that box will be empty. And it's great to see him here, albeit I suspect, Sid, he might not actually get to see a great deal of the race because the crowd just continually wants his attentions.
But soon he will jump on the pace cut to basically flag the winner.
Yeah, which at this stage is certainly looking as though Fazza are going to be up there. The seafront here in Naples, as the number 10 boat, that being that was in 3rd position, well, that has opened up again all of a sudden because they were pressurising a few laps ago. Not quite sure what happened to the number 22 pole-sitting boat, but they have now dropped significantly further away. I suspect they've taken the long lap and we've just not picked up on it because they've gone over the start-finish line now, what, the best part of 20 seconds of drift of where they were, so they've taken the long lap for sure at some point over the course, are leading and are asking everybody else the questions. There is the boat that's in 6th position, now running in 7th position, and that's the boat that's had a significant amount of work done to it throughout the course of this season. We'll come back to that in a few moments' time as we look back at Virtual Eye. There is T-Bone Station, boat number 10 heading through the left-hander and starting to go out to sea. They are running in 2nd position. And over the start-finish line, the boat we're looking at there is Fajera, Global Marine, as they were badged earlier on in the session. Fajera, right, Maradona's found another box, as he said, yeah. There'll be plenty of those. So Fazza heading back out towards the far reaches of the circuit. They've opened up, what now, a 29-second lead between themselves. We'll give you a quick rundown of the order. The boat that we're looking at, number 3, Fazza, leads the race. In 2nd position is where we see T-Bone Station. That is the number 10 boat. 3rd place is Cantiere Postiglione, which is the number 22 boat that qualified on pole position. And 4th place is 6, or Nicolini Offshore as they're also known. 5th position is the number 7 boat of Dubai. We just had a brief glimpse of the boat that was in 6th position, that being Marine Investimenti Sud. In 7th position is number 50, which is Moad. 8th place is Global Marine, or Fajera, as they're also known. 9th position is Rahib, and completing the top 10 is the number 94 boat of Qatar. But Fazza are pushing on, have looked dominant so far this season, and dominant in the 1980s in terms of scoring goals was that man, Diego Maradona, an absolute football legend and a hero here in Naples. His right hand has never done so much work, has it? Throwing t-shirts into the crowd. Qatar team and Fazza heading on to the long lap this time through. So Qatar head on to their 2nd long lap, the number 94 boat. Fazza are taking their 1st long lap. Diego Maradona has dispensed with yet more t-shirts. And that boat there, which is 6, also known as Nicolini Offshore, is still pressing on in 4th position. It's already gone over the start-finish line and is working its way up towards the right-hander. That's at the very bottom section of the seafront. T-Bone Station from 2nd position have taken the long lap this time through. As we look at Virtual Eye again, and Fazza's position relative to the rest of the boats. Fazza, who are certainly looking dominant here, a 30-second advantage has been opened up with 8 laps now chalked in the book. So Fazza heading back out into open water once more. So you can see again from virtual eye that with T-Bone Station having done the long lap and Fazza now doing their long lap, that the gaps are going to start to close up all of a sudden, because T-Bone Station, having completed their long lap, have now ultimately dropped down into 3rd position. Of course, they should reassert themselves because Cantiere Postiglione have not as yet done a long lap, so they are, albeit provisionally, promoted to 2nd. But both boats, and all boats, have to do 2 long laps throughout the course of this race. Should they not, then they are given a 25-second time penalty, and we have seen that previously in races. Again, Fazza just riding the waves beautifully, just the stern of the boat sitting in the water, the bow of the boat just beautifully out of the water, the boat's riding on the plains, fabulously trimmed, and 8 laps have been completed so far in this race. Diego Maradona finally sitting down again. I think they've used all the shirts now. There'll be some very happy people in Naples heading home this evening. And Fazza, again, as you see from the helicopter, you can see literally just occasionally as the boat hits a wave, the bow just taps onto the water, but all of the time Fazza have got their boat set up beautifully well this weekend, Sid. You can see by the wake that's being made behind that it's just on the plane continually.
Absolutely, good speed, good setup, awesome balance, and they are not basically losing any kind of precious seconds at the turn. So again, they show a complete supremacy here in Napoli. Still 9 laps to go, and let's see if Fazza will keep this their dominance.
Yeah, let's see whether they will. Of course, they have taken their long lap, and despite taking that long lap, they are still in the lead of the race, but the advantage has come down because the boat that qualified on pole position, number 22, Cantiere Postiglione of Alfredo Amato and Marco Penesi, has now caught up to just 10 seconds behind, but of course they've still got the long lap to do. That's the boat that we're looking at now that's in 2nd position. It started on pole, and well, Alfredo Amato, as a resident of Naples, he would be pleased to say the least, wouldn't he, if he could take a win here at his home Grand Prix, the first time that we've seen the XCats race in the Mediterranean.
Absolutely. We will leave this place with plenty of memories, and as well with the one target is to come back again next year in the same period, more or less. And I'm sure that the community here in Napoli, they will look forward to see again the race next year.
That's one boat we haven't seen a great deal of. We just briefly saw it, Abdullah Latif Al-Amani and Yassim Said at the wheel of Rahib, a boat that's been consistent so far. That's number 94, Qatar. Well, Rahib are circulating down in what is 9th position, whereas Qatar are in 10th place as we look back at virtual eye, and Cantiere Postiglione, the number 22 boat that's there in 2nd place. As we zoom out, we should be able to see the relative gap between themselves and race leader Fazza. Yeah, you can see them both heading back down the straight towards us, having completed that right-hander that we've just seen on virtual eye. The gap is closing up, but the boat in 2nd place, Sid, still has got to do the first of its 2 long laps, and we're now 9 laps into the race.
Yeah, both 22, Alfredo Amato and Marco Penesi, still they are in the game. I think they lost a little bit the momentum against boat 10, but they're still keeping their 3rd place so far.
Yep, 6 are doing their 2nd long lap at this point as Fazza head back over the start-finish line. And as they head over the start-finish line, the boat in 2nd place, there it is, number 22, Cantiere Postiglione, are still looking to try and push on as best as they possibly can. They're heading down towards the right-hander, which is at the very far end of the course. T-Bone Station, number 10, go through in what is third position rather. The gap between first and second has come back out again once more. It was just less than 10 seconds between Fazza and Cantiere Postiglione. It's now up to 11.12 seconds with T-Bone Station, the number 10 boat, still there in third position. Fourth place at this stage, having just gained fourth position, is that boat there, number 20, Marine Investimenti Sud, is now up into fourth place. The reason for that is because Matteo Niccolini and Tommaso Poli, Matteo Niccolini on the throttles, Tommaso Poli, the ex-Class 1 champion, did the long lap as the number 28 boat heads through and looks to be slowing. Does it possibly there? Fagera, we'll keep an eye on that, because the Fagera boat looked as though it was possibly slowing as it came over the start-finish line. We just briefly caught it, and certainly I think there is possibly a problem for Global Marine or the Fagera boat, because they were circulating in what was 8th position, but I have a fear that boat may possibly be destined for the pits, or they may be Mr. Boy, and hence the reason that they might just be looping back round. We'll pick up on that in a moment. There's Fazza from Virtual Eye, still continuing to press on in the lead of the race, as the advantage has been held reasonably static over the course of the lap, which is throttled by Alfredo Amato, is driven by Marco Panessi. It's still there in second place, but still as yet to do its 2 long laps, and we are now onto the 10th lap of the race as Fazza head back towards the start-finish line once more and are about to conclude yet another lap. They've done 1 long lap so far. They've still got 1 extra one to do, and you can see just how beautifully that boat is handling as it turns its way in towards the final right-hander, the former Class 1 champion back in 2007, 2009 and 2010 on the throttles, Arif Al-Zafin. There's the boat in second place, Alfredo Amato, on the throttles of the Cantiere Postiglione boat as it heads through in what is second position, and the gap between the two of them has been held static over the course of the last few laps between themselves and Fazza. Fazza, who come into this weekend leading the championship on maximum points, 2 wins having already been scored, a win in Dubai, a win in Fagera, 400 points for a race win. There's 300 for second, 225 for third, and so on down through the order. But it's maximum points so far this season for Fazza, and with really only an extra couple of laps to go, plus the extra long laps that need doing, so probably 4 or 5 more laps in this. Don't think they've done their long laps as yet. We have seen on that lap the T-Bone Station boat that was originally running in second place, dropped to third after doing its first long lap. It's now just done its second long lap. They're down in fourth position, but having completed their 2 long laps, they might be in fourth at this stage, but with 5 or so laps to go, there are boats ahead of them that have still got to do those long laps.
Indeed, they have to complete the 2 long laps, otherwise they will, the race officials will inflict a time penalty. Looks like they all finished to complete their 2 long laps. Still boat 7, I'm not sure if they completed the second one.
Yeah, I think boat 7 at this stage have completed just the 1 long lap, I think, so far, and we'll see whether they are at this stage going to complete a second one. That's the Dubai boat, isn't it? They're down in what 7th position at this stage, and it would be good, wouldn't it, to see them get a good finish here, because Sultan El Dahiri and Jay Price, following that boat flipping yesterday, the team, what a way to repay them if they could bring themselves up through the order, because that team worked all the way through the night to get the boat out.
Absolutely, they worked off the fleet. They are the most, let's say, competitive boat together with Fazza and the race, and to accumulate a couple of points.
Yeah, we saw from the helicopter there Fazza. We're now watching them on Virtual Eye, which gives a fabulous image of the course, and also you can see the beautiful backdrop of the castle up at the very top of the hill here in Naples, and you can see also that kidney-shaped course with certainly 1 boat heading off onto the long lap. Fazza turn their way through the right-hander at the far southern side of the circuit, and will start to work their way back towards the area where we are situated before they then turn left and start to head out towards sea once more. And well, for Fazza, it didn't take them long to take the lead, did it? They might not have qualified on pole position. They were 0.8 of a second away from taking the pole position from the number 22 boat of Cantiere Postiglione, but they were leading by the time they got into the first turn. And well, there's really been no looking back since then, has there, for
our veteran pilot. He did Class 1 P1
to the boat. He is our guest of honor, which will certainly be back here in 2015 because the venue is perfect. The pilot, and well, certainly Diego Maradona will know all about those, won't he, throughout the course of his career. But Fazza looking for their third victory out of 3 in the 2014 season. They lead by 32.49 seconds now between themselves and the number 22 boat of Cantiere Postiglione, that before too much longer is going to look as though it has done its second lap yet. Postiglione, number 22 there in second position. Marine Investimenti Sud, as Sid said, probably still with issues following the inversion of their boat in yesterday's qualifying session. They are their best of the season so far in 9th place. Qatar are there in 10th place. Lady Spain are 11th, so they're still out there. They're still circulating the new team as Cantiere Postiglione now head on to their long lap. So kind of boat number 22 having done another long lap, that is probably going to be a penalty lap for them possibly. They may well have picked up an infringement somewhere. That would be such a shame for them because I think they've already done 2 long laps, and having just done another, I think that probably means that everybody now has completed their long lap of the race. And Marine Investimenti Sud, which is the number 20 boat of Serafino Bellesi and Alessandro Barone, that are there in second position. And Serafino is one of those drivers, he's not in the first flush of youth. He still loves his power boating, and he's always got a smile on his face, Sid, hasn't he?
He's the oldest pilot here in the XCat World Series. He started when we started 4 years ago, and he's just he's doing it out of passion, out of love.
Yeah. And
when I see him, when I always see his face and with the smile from the cockpit, I said, really, Serafino, your expression, your face expression does not reflect your age.
Absolutely, he is an absolute enthusiast. You can see it getting a little bit bumpy out there as they ride the wave. We can confirm also that the number 28 boat of Global Marine or Fagera team are also in the pits, so they have had issues. I thought I'd seen them slowing down on course, but they have unfortunately had to bring their boat into the pits. As we look down on Lady Spain, the number 46 boat with the Altman Marine sponsorship down the side, the new team for this weekend, and it's been a learning weekend really for Lorenzo Bacchi and Marco Fabrizi. Marco Fabrizi on the throttles, Lorenzo Bacchi the driver. They've stepped up to the XCat World Series and well have performed admirably. They've done the right thing. They've wanted to understand the boat, and throughout the course of the whole of the weekend they have slowly begun to, when they wind the throttles right up, of course they'll be continually adjusting them as they look for the waves in the distance. These boats are capable of up to 120 miles per hour, and well, certainly we've seen some of the speeds of these boats getting almost towards it. A great fight that we haven't picked up on yet, going on for 4th and 5th position. We'll try and see whether we can pick up on that, because T-Bone Station and Moed are circulating very much together as we look at fights elsewhere through the order that are heading right out onto the far reaches of the Gulf of Naples. And we're heading towards the final stages of this race, and Fazza, Sid, have done everything right, haven't they?
Absolutely, they did zero mistake, and for sure I think the most happiest pilot today here in Napoli XCat Grand Prix is definitely Serafino Barlesi. I don't think he was expecting to be on this position today together with Alessandro Baron, but let's see, still there is 1 lap to go, but if he will cross the finishing line in the 2nd position, he will be the most thrilled individual here in Napoli.
Yeah, absolutely. They will be absolutely stoked if they can finish in 2nd position. The number 20 boat that's had 2 top 10 finishes so far, 10th in both of the races that we've seen so far, both in Dubai and in Fagera. As we are now on the last lap of the race, and for Fazza, they have absolutely done everything right. Diego Maradona is ready to wave the checkered flag, and it does look as though for the third time this season in 2014 in the UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series, Fazza are about to head onto what is going to be their penultimate lap. So through the right-hander there are 2 laps to go, not quite this time for Fazza, because that is now 15 laps that are chalked in the book. It's the start lap plus 13 plus 2 long laps, and well, certainly for the championship winning team in 2012 and 2013, with just a lap to go, Sid, they have started their 2014 campaign exactly as they wanted. A win in Dubai, a win in Fujairah, and it's looking like a win here in Naples.
Absolutely, they are very consistent during the start of the season, and even last year, new boat here in Napoli. They did not really have that much time to complete the tuning of this boat, but as you said, in each practice, every day, they improve, and it pays off straightforward.
It looks as though there are problems for Rahib further out on the course, so Rahib are slowing down on the far side of the course. We had shown them in 9th position and had indicated that they were going for their best finish of the season. Well, very much the commentator's curse there, wasn't it? As soon as you mentioned it, the boat starts to slow as Fazza turn their way out of the left-hander and start to head out towards sea for the final time. That's the boat in 6th position, number 6. The winners back at Stresa last year. Last time they raced in Italy in the XCats, it was a win for that number 6 boat of Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli. There is the Dubai boat that flipped in qualifying. They have been somewhat off the pace, curiously. I'm sure it's as a result of the problems that befell Sultan Al Dahiri and Jay Price. No such issues, though, for their teammates. Both of these boats being run by the Victory team, and Fazza looking dominant with a 28-second lead between themselves and the number 28 boat. Number 20 boat. Be delighted if they can hang on to that second place, and highly delighted also will be the pilots of the boat in 3rd position, which is the boat that qualified on pole, Cantiere Postiglione, in the hands of Naples-based Alfredo Amato. He is looking good for a podium place here in his home Grand Prix.
We just saw in the screen, Mark, that Cantiere, let's find out what is the reason behind it.
Yeah, well, Sid is about to try and work out exactly what the problem was for that boat. We can see the Qatar boat heading over the start-finish line. Fazza are not that far behind, and as they head over the start-finish line now for Fazza, the flag is waved on the pace boat.
The flag is waved on the pace boat. This is the to indicate that there is 1 lap remaining before they cross the finishing line. I have to tell you that boat 22, they have a penalty.
Lato and Marco Pinessi. So another lap has been squeezed out by Fazza. So they're just about now to take the checker flag this next time through. The white flag has been shown for them. They just came over the start-finish line and were able to squeeze 1 further lap out of this one. And UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series, and well, he is very shortly about to do the same here, because Fazza are heading right the way out away from the coast to the far side of the circuit for the final time. There they are again, as you can see, continually. It doesn't matter as the fuel load has been burnt. That boat has performed absolutely superbly, riding the waves a little bit rougher than it was earlier on as the balance of the boat disappears. The fulcrum on the boat, in reality, the central point of gravity, is much towards the rear at the beginning of the boat, because that's at the beginning of the race, because that's where the fuel tanks sit. As the fuel is burnt, of course, that fulcrum moves forward on the boat, so it's much more difficult to get the front end of the boat out the water. You need to trim it a lot more to get it riding on the plane. But 14 UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series, they're working their way down towards the checkered flag. It does look as though Qatar will just squeeze an extra lap out. I don't quite think they are going to go a lap down. And as Qatar head round through the final right-hander, you can see again that boat even now just riding the waves absolutely beautifully through the right-hander. There you go, they're about to start their final lap of the race, as Fazza, who have taken a very strange line coming in towards the checkered flag this time. They've gone very much off to the right again. Diego Maradona, a sight that will make all England football players from 1986 close their eyes.
The supremacy here, and they're lucky as well that the checkered flag was done by Diego Maradona. And in second position, Marine Investment issued Serafino Barlesi and Alex Baron. And in the third position, another Italian boat, T-Bone State.
We will enjoy watching the last few minutes here in Naples. It is another victory for the very, very dominant pairing this season of fighting each other. They will without question receive the congratulations of the team and no doubt a huge round of applause as well when they head onto the podium a little bit later on. There is Diego Maradona waving the flag. Our race leaders going through and claiming their third win. That of course means that they take maximum points in the championship yet again here in Naples. That gives them maximum points for the championship so far in 2014. A win in Dubai, a win in Fagera, a win in Naples means that they head away from here to the next of the rounds that we have in the northern part of Italy, up on the lake at Strasa, with 1,200 points. And well, the champions from 2012, the champions from 2013 are doing everything right to try and claim a third consecutive championship in 2014. As we look down on the winners, we'll give you a quick rundown through the order. Fazza claim the race victory. In second position is Marine Investimenti Sud, and that will mean that there will be a party tonight for Serafino Barlesi and Alessandro Birone. In their home Grand Prix, they come home in second position. T-Bone Station finish in third place, which is the number 10 boat of Luca Fendi and Giovanni Carpitelli. So of the 6 pilots that we see on the podium, it's quite fitting that 4 of them are Italian. Just looking back at the start of the race, you can see that as the green flag fell, Fazza was going side by side with the boat of Cantiere Postiglione as they turn their way up towards the first corner. Fazza on the left-hand side of the screen. T-Bone Station also making a very good start, and the two of them turned their way in towards the first of the right-handers on the start lap, which is a slightly shorter lap for safety reasons. Of course, we have to bunch the boats together, but Fazza managed to get the drop when the flag went green, and as they then went through the tighter second buoy and started to make their way out to sea. From there really was no looking back for Fazza. You can't quite say it was a green flag to checkered flag victory, because for the first half second or so they hadn't quite got their nose ahead, but from there was absolutely no looking back. And well, it would be a hard man to bet against the fact that that boat there and the pairing of Arif Al Zafain and Nadir Bin Hendi will not secure a third consecutive UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series Championship for 2014. So Fazza with the win, Marine Investimenti Sud and T-Bone Station second and third place. Congratulations to Moad, who finished in fourth position. They qualified down in 8th place, but a new pairing for this weekend, the hugely experienced Miami-based American Gary Ballou and Joachim Kumlim, sharing that boat with him this weekend. Gary Ballou on the throttles, Joachim Kumlim, who is in his 5th year of XCats now, and whilst they might not have qualified as high as wish, it's been a good race run from them. 26, almost 20 seconds adrift of our race winners, but Moad come through and finish in 4th place. 5th place is where we see the next of the runners. Again, it's another Italian boat. The Italian boat's going very well on home sail. It's the Nicolini Offshore number 6 boat of Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli that finish in 5th position. 6th place is the boat that was a little bit off the pace, and those are the photographs that we will see in the magazines next week. Another win here in Naples for the dominant team of Fazza, for the stunning Bone in 3rd. Moad, as we say, from 8th on the grid up to 4th in the race. A good shame it really was, because that extra lap that they were pinged right the way towards the end does mean that the boat that qualified on pole and the local man Alfredo Mato ultimately will finish down in 8th. The celebrations here in Naples will go on long into the night. You can bet your bottom dollar. And of course, as we heard from Sid Bin, the equipment, and for the first time I think moving it via train up towards Strasa for round 4 of the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series. After we have been up to Strasa, that event takes place between the 20th and the 22nd of June. Then we move on to Cascais in Portugal in the early part of August, the 1st through to the 3rd of August. Before then, it's over to Asia for 2 rounds, the first of which is the 3rd to the 5th of October in Ningbo in China. Then, 4 weeks later, we move on to Hailing Island in China, the 31st of October through to the 2nd of November. And the final round, we're back to Dubai, where we started it all in January. We finish it all in the middle part of December with the final round, round 8 of the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series. Our winners are making their way back on the PaceCat, and as we say, there is going to be huge congratulations for them. It was almost a lights the flag victory, wasn't it, in reality? And the crowd here at Naples have been more than entertained, not just by Diego Maradona and the local sites, but also by a stunning race in the 3rd round of the XCat World Series. So Diego Maradona, I think, still busy giving away the shirts. As we say, the party will continue here in Naples, and you can join us again with live commentary from me once we get towards the podiums. That's about 10 minutes away. We'll let you enjoy the rest of the festivities here at Naples as the race winners make their way back to shore. So we're just about to start the podium presentations for round 3 of the 2014 UIM Sky Maradona here over the course of this weekend, and just great to see how many of our spectators have come down to witness the podium presentations. Fazza, of course, claiming podium place. Diego Maradona has been warmly received here in Naples. The weather has been ideal. The course has been liked almost without exception by all of the pilots here, and the crowd have not only come to see their local hero Diego Maradona, but have also come to see for the first time in the Mediterranean the XCat World Series, which has been warmly received in Naples, and I'm sure will be warmly received in a few weeks' time when we head north to the lake at Strasa, where last year we did see a win for an Italian team on Italian soil. Wasn't to be the case today, but the win last year at Strasa went the way of the Nicolini offshore boat of Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli. It would be good to see, wouldn't it, a win on home soil for an Italian crew, but it is the UAE crew of Nader bin Hendi and Arif Al Zafain that have claimed the honours here. They're getting ready to head out onto the podium. There will be a huge celebration when the Italians join the podium. You can bet that for nothing. There will be a very large celebration as well, because I think I would be very surprised if we don't see Diego Maradona head onto the podium. The crowd are waiting. They'll be hugely disappointed if he doesn't come out, and you can see just how perfect the weather has been here in the Gulf of Naples this weekend. It was a little bit cloudy on Friday when we arrived. It was a blisteringly hot day yesterday and perfect conditions today, which is exactly what we want in XCat racing and exactly the way to start our first ever Grand Prix on the Mediterranean Sea. Right the way around the promenade we have seen spectators 3, 4, 5 up to 10 and 20 deep, particularly at the area around the pit lane, but right the way through the course there has been hundreds upon thousands of Italians and visitors as well to this beautiful part of Italy that have come to enjoy the sunshine and come to enjoy the party that is XCat racing. And as we say, the crowd are having their own party down there on the podium. You can see them with Diego Maradona t-shirts hanging over the awning there, and well, he was giving a few of those away, wasn't he, Diego? He might be Argentinian, but he is an Italian hero, and particularly here in Naples. And with the podium presentations very shortly about to get underway, we'll see a podium presentation for the overall race. We will see a podium presentation also for the SpeedCat runs that we saw yesterday, and there is also likely to be a podium presentation for the pole position awards as well. They may not all be streamed, but we will certainly give you, without question, the main podium presentation from here in Naples. Big thanks to Sid Ben Salah for joining us throughout the race for the commentary, but it won't be that much longer before we're able to wrap things up here in Naples, pack the boats away, and the circus that is, it's circus in the nicest possible ways, but this huge party that is XCat, and then we'll put it all on a train, send it north, and get ready to do it all again in Strasa in a few weeks' time. So the team ready for the presentations, all of our VIPs, guests, sponsors and corporate supporters of the UIM Skydo Dubai XCat World Series. There is the main man, and we haven't got audio down there, which is such a shame. If we had, it would certainly be fitting the very top of the audio range, because Diego Maradona is an absolute legend, an absolute hero, and it's a pleasure to see him joining the XCat World Series here in Naples for the third round. And he shakes the hands of the delegation, and then the next thing that we need to do is start to get our drivers and our pilots ready to head onto the podium. We did see several of the team members as well when Diego was out there early on, taking selfies as well with Diego in the background. There'll be a few that might be worth watching on Twitter, Facebook and FaceTime over the course of the next few days or so, because there were some pretty impressive selfies being taken on the pontoon before the race. And with the crowd chanting Diego, Diego, Diego. You won't be able to hear it, but from where we are sitting you can still hear it absolutely pounding its way down towards us. The noise levels of the crowd astonishing here in Naples for what has been just the best of weekends. We had the first 2 rounds in the Emirates, in Dubai and Fujairah. We have the next 2 rounds in Italy, and there on the podium are Sultan Al Dahiri and Jay Price. On the podium are the boys from Fazza, and that is Arif Al-Zafin and Nadir bin Hendi. This is the awards for the pole position award. And then on the top step of the podium for this one, we see the local man with huge applause for Alfredo Amato and Marco Pinesi, the pole position award, the MR pole position award for the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series. So it may not have been the result that certainly Alfredo Amato wanted in the race. It doesn't look as though Marco Pinesi is on the podium, but he still looks pleased, does he? It might have been 8th position in the race, but the pole position was enough for the Naples resident to really make his weekend. He would have preferred a much greater result, but that penalty that was awarded to him towards the tail end of the race curtailed the progress of the Cantiere Postiglione boat, and they will ultimately finish further down through the order than they would have wished. Fine looking trophies about to be presented, and it's a great way to start to bring down the curtain on our first visit to the XCat World Series here in Naples. Sultan Al Dahiri receives his trophy for 3rd position, and just being presented with his for 3rd place as well is Jay Price. Jay Price on the throttles of the Dubai boat. Sultan Al Dahiri is the man behind the wheel, and with the trophy presentations having been completed for 3rd position in the pole position results, we can now turn our attentions to the pilots that finished in 2nd place. It's not quite been the clean sweep for Fazza here in Naples that we've seen throughout the course of the season, because they only qualified 2nd quickest, but the award is received by Nadir bin Hendi for 2nd place. Arif Al-Zafin is about to receive, there he goes, some fine looking silverware as well. Smiles all round for the Fazza team. Big cheers from the crowd as well, not just for the drivers but still for Maradona that they're chanting down there. And a very large cheer because it's the Italian flag that is at the very top of the podium, and it's a Naples resident that's got it in his hands. Alfredo Amato receives a huge hug from Maradona, and that is going to be a day that Alfredo Amato will remember. As Marco Pinesi has made it. Late on display, he leaps on the podium. He does gets that nick of time, wasn't it? That Marco Pinesi and Alfredo Amato on the top step of the podium for the Amar Pole Position Award, and yeah, big hugs by Alfredo Amato for a very happy-looking Diego Maradona, who is always well received here, particularly in this part of Italy. The podium about to be vacated, a few more photographs just being taken, and then we'll be able to crack on with the next of the podium presentations, because we've still got a podium presentation to conduct for the Dubai duty-free Speed Cat run results that we saw yesterday, and we've also still got the overall results that need doing. The crowd still gathered there. They will remain around, just trying to continually grab glimpses of their heroes, whether it be the pilots here, and particularly the local-based pilots of the XCat boats, or whether it be the people they're pogoing for at the moment, that being Diego Maradona. So with the podium cleared following the pole position award, Diego's urging them on, isn't he? Yeah, smiles all round. He really is an entertainer as well. He was very entertaining on the football field. He's been very entertaining here in Naples throughout the course of today, and he was very well received in Dubai also at round 1 when he waved the checkered flag there as well. Remains to be seen whether we see him out throughout the remainder of the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series. So we now head on with our next podium presentation, and this is for the Speed Cat runoff, and joining the podium is The two drivers from the number 52 boat, the two pilots, Joachim Kumlin and Gary Ballou, the Swedish driver and pilot Joachim Kumlin. Gary Ballou is there. The top step of the podium goes the way of the boys of Fazza, Aref Al-Zafin and Nadir Bin Hendi, having just come off the podium. They head back onto it already. They were the two boats that reached the final of the Dubai duty-free XCat run final. And, well, for Gary Ballou, he was very pleased yesterday for himself and Joachim Kumlin, a new pairing for this weekend. It had been the best part of 6 months, and Strasza in Italy last year, the last time that they reached a XCat run final. So Italy has been a very happy hunting ground for the American in the last couple of years in terms of XCat runs. They also had a good performance in the race as well, bringing themselves up through the order. They received their trophies for finishing in second place in the Dubai duty-free XCat run. That's the number 50 Moad boat. Joachim Kumlin, new to the team this weekend, and Gary Ballou. And the winner's trophy for the XCat runs are heading towards Fazza once more. Aref Al-Zafin and Nadir Bin Hendi, they will come away from Italy with a fair chunk of silverware this weekend. And of course, with it being the first away rounds from their home country, let's hope that they've booked excess baggage, because with the trophies that they're going to be going home with, they will certainly need the weight, won't they? Maradona on the podium, 4 very happy looking pilots. And then, with podium presentations having been conducted for the Dubai duty-free XCat runs, we can head towards the most important podium, you could argue, of the weekend, because it certainly looks as though we are going to see a lot of Italian flags on the podium. The wind might not have gone the way of Italy, because Fazza so far this season have been dominant, to say the least, but we are going to see hopefully 4 Italian pilots out of the 6 onto the podium for the results for this race. The sights in Italy, as always, beautiful to see, and with the crowd getting ready for the final podium of the weekend. Onto the podium in 3rd position is the T-Bone Station crew of Luca Fendi and Giovanni Capitelli. They look pleased, to say the least, with a podium position in their home country. Onto the 3rd step of the podium they go, waving the Italian flag, with Luca Fendi on the right-hand side, Giovanni Capitelli on the left of our screens there. The 2nd place crew in the race overall, about to head on to the podium. Again, it's a pairing of Italians. Serafino Bellesi and Alessandro Barone will finish in 2nd position. I did say there'll be lots of Italian flags on the podium, and for Serafino Bellesi, the eldest of the pilots that we've got racing in XCats, it is going to be a sweet 2nd place on home soil. And Alessandro Barone, that's of course their best result of the season so far. What can they do in the next of the rounds that we see up in northern Italy in Strasza? For the largest cheer of all and the top step of the podium, it's these boys again, isn't it? Fazza onto the top step of the podium. Aref Al-Zafin and Nadir Bin Hendi secure the honours in the 3rd round of the UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series here in the Gulf of Naples at the Naples Grand Prix. And with the Emirates flag on the top of the podium, flanked either side by the Italian tricolor, we will very shortly see the largest trophies of all presented to these top 3 in what was an unbelievably close race. The Fazza team manager also shaking the hands of the winning pilots and the pilots on the podium. He will also join his pair of winning pilots on the top step, and then we can start the official presentation of the trophies. First of all, to our pairing of pilots that finished in 3rd position, and that is of course the pair of Italians who are about to receive their trophies now. Luca Fendi receives his, Giovanni Capitelli on the left hand side receives his trophy, held aloft by Luca Fendi. He is another pilot that's had a smile on his face all weekend, Luca Fendi. So congratulations to the pair that have finished in 3rd position. still with many people hanging on to watch the podium presentations here in Napoli. They'll be hanging around as well to continually try and catch a glimpse of not just Maradona but also the boats as well, which they've seen out to sea, but they've not necessarily seen at close quarters. The pairing in second position, Serafino Bellesi and Alessandro Barone, secure second place. As we say, their best result of the season so far. Great to see. Of the 6 pilots on the podium, 4 of them are represented by the home country and our host country for this third round of the XCat World Series, supported again this year by Skydive Dubai and organised by the UIM and the WPPA. But the top step of the podium, they've already got plenty of silverware to polish throughout the course of this year and the last couple of years in reality. There's a couple more trophies about to join the cabinet as well back home in the Emirates, because the largest trophies of all, the winners' trophies more importantly, Fazza, Arif Al-Zafin and Nadir bin Hendi. First of all, it's the team manager that receives the trophy for Fazza as the team, and then the pilots who are on the top step of the podium are about to receive their trophies as well. The right hand side of our screen, or in the middle in reality, of the 3 Fazza representatives is Nadir bin Hendi. On the left hand side is Arif Al-Zafin, and we've got some very happy pilots here on the podium in Naples, with the final couple of trophies about to be presented by Diego Maradona once more. He might have lifted World Cups. He's about to lift the trophy up towards Nadir bin Hendi and Arif Al-Zafin. Congratulations to all 6 pilots on the podium. Well done to Fazza for what has been another solid weekend here in Naples. They have taken 3 wins out of 3 so far in the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai World Series. The hat-trick has already been done. Can they make it 4 as we head to Strasa in northern Italy in a few weeks' time? So the Italian national anthem has been played here, as well as the national anthem for the Emirates. The crowd still busy enjoying themselves. I think Diego Maradona has thoroughly enjoyed himself as well. Smiles all round on the podium, and it really has been just the best of visits for the first time into the Mediterranean Sea for the UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series. The gulf here in Naples has been perfect. Not a bad left foot, has he, Maradona? Not a bad right foot either. And not a bad head as well. Perfect. Absolutely pinpointed exactly where he wanted that, I bet. And hasn't used his hand yet, though, has he? I'm sure he will be doing before too much longer. There we go. Maradona. Ah, there we go. He's missed one, hasn't he? Maradona will... we need a volley now, don't we, really? Get it up in the air. Let's have a volley, Maradona. Let's see this one go. I think he's trying to work out, ideally exactly who he wanted it to go to. It didn't quite get there. There we go. There's that famous left foot once more. And getting further away, he'll be absolutely firing them into the crowds. There will be some very, very pleased fans here in Italy. You can see them all jumping to try and catch it. We've got rid of the footballs. We got rid of the T-shirts earlier. Now it's the hats that are going into the crowd. It really has been a fabulous party atmosphere in Naples, and as we say, we do it all again in a few weeks' time in Strasa in northern Italy, before we then head to Portugal for what will be round 5. We're over into China, Ningbo for round 6, Hailing Island for round 7, still in Asia, and we go back to the Emirates for the 8th and final round of the 2014 UIM Skydive XCat World Series. Maradona not just concentrating on the crowd, ahead. Also concentrates on the crowd to the side. Yeah, a side foot as well from Maradona. Another big left foot volley from him. He might not be the biggest of chaps, but he's still got a hell of a left foot, hasn't he? And he is absolutely the showman. We ought to have him at every round, really, because he has been an absolute superstar throughout the course of this weekend. And here we go, look. Oh, not quite. There we go. There goes. Oh, no. He might have lost it after all, hey? Eventually we got there. I suspect he might be powered by Prosecco because he's enjoyed himself. Has Maradona and, well, Luca Fendi and the rest of the crew showing off their silverware. There'll be photos that they will cherish for a very long time indeed. An absolute superstar, Maradona. He will be no doubt mobbed as he makes his way back away from the venue here at Naples. He was mobbed on the way in. He's determined to get it right as well. And there we go, absolutely perfect. You can see the concentration on his face. He has entertained us all of the way, straight off the head. A huge left foot volley into the crowd, and that is the way to end the weekend here in Naples. And it really has been a joy to be here this weekend. We'll do it all again, of course, back in 2015. Maradona will still continue to give out the goodies. From myself, Mark Werrell, here in Naples, hope you've enjoyed the third round of the 2014 UIM Skydive Dubai XCat World Series.